Hello everyone and welcome. It's Pamela here. I hope you're having a great weekend. Today's video is a mixed media canvas tutorial, but just before we start I want to show you this resin piece that I made using Finnabare's grungy frames mold that I got a few weeks ago. This was the first piece that I made using that mold and I didn't do a great job. As you can see, I've missed out on the beading around the middle, but I hate waste, especially wasting resin as it's so expensive. So I thought of a way that I can still use it instead of throwing it away, and the inspiration is this mixed media anchor that I made last October, and this was actually my very first mixed media project. So I don't have a video for this, but I do have plenty more mixed media projects since then. So if you want to go and check out the videos for those, you can have a look through the mixed media playlist on my channel. But I'm showing you this just to show you that the canvas I make will be a kind of partner for this, as this is now proudly displayed in my bathroom. So I'll be using very similar colors to keep it in a matching theme, although it will be totally different. So I'll be showing you a few different mixed media techniques today, so stick around if you want to see what I come up with at the end. So thank you so much for watching. So the first thing I'm doing is just adding some white heavy gesso to a canvas that measures 5 by 7 inches. It's quite small, but I'll be able to get loads of dimension on a canvas this size. Once the gesso has dried, I'm then going to add some background texture using a Dusty Attic wave stencil and some modeling paste, and once I've applied that, I'll put that to the side and make sure it dries thoroughly. If you don't have modeling paste, there are so many other types of texture paste that you can use, like paper paste, light paste, there's sand paste, sand texture paste even. You could also apply another layer of gesso through a stencil, or you don't have to use a stencil at all. You could just apply some sand texture paste in random areas, or you could just leave the canvas blank and go straight on with painting it and then adding embellishments. But I always like to add texture paste into my mixed media projects. I think it just adds a lot more interest and gives the project more dimension. So I've set my canvas aside while I'm waiting for that modeling paste to dry, and I've turned my attention to the embellishments that I'll be using. As you can see, I'm using loads of resin pieces and also a few chipboard pieces, and I'm applying another layer of the white heavy body gesso to all of them. The chipboard, I just think it stops them from soaking up all the acrylic paint once you've got a layer of gesso on, and the resin pieces really need a layer of gesso before you paint them, just because they come out really like with a shiny surface, so that will make the paint adhere to them properly. I won't bore you with showing you how I paint each individual one, just as I've shown, like I'm doing a few bits and pieces so you get the idea. But as you will have just seen, those pieces that are in front of me right now, I used some acrylic paint on them to give them colour. And I'm now going over the highlights with some metallic wax. I'm using Prima Finnabare's waxes in Peacock, which is that gorgeous turquoise. And then I'm topping them off with some of the Firebird. And I've just put a screenshot in there so you can see exactly how they looked, which was really gorgeous on the acrylics. And the resin frame that I'm trying to use, I'm just backing it now with one of the chipboard pieces from the Dusty Attic, and you can just see those metallic highlights on the chipboard now. And I've just glued that to the back of the resin with some of Eileen's tacky glue. And once that's done, I'll then go on to finishing off my canvas and the rest of the embellishments. As you can see, I've still got quite a few left to paint. And although it does seem like quite a lot, I'm going to be doing them all in the same impasto paints that you can see I'm using on the canvas now. That's the mint colour, and I've watered it down really quite a lot, so it's really runny and it just gives a quite light effect. Once I've applied that, I'll then go straight over it with the jade coloured impasto paint and just allow those colours to flow together. And I'll be doing exactly the same with all of the resin pieces, adding the mint all over and then more touches of the jade and just letting the colours blend. Once they're done, I'll then add a final few touches of the raspberry impasto paint, just because I know I'm using like those pink colour flowers and a pink mermaid tail, so I want to tie them in. And the shells especially look so gorgeous when they've got all those colours on. So again, I won't bore you with showing you how I paint each individual one. I'll just paint one or two so you get the idea of how much I'm applying and how I blend in the second coat. So while I'm doing that, I'll give you a break from listening to me and I will pop some music in here instead, and I'll be back on the next step. But before I go, I just want to ask you, if you're enjoying this video and you've learned any new techniques, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'd love to hear from you if you enjoyed this project, so feel free to leave me a comment down below. Thank you, and I'll be back in a moment. So once I finish completely painting those embellishments, I'm getting the waxes again and applying faint touches to the canvas, especially on those stenciled areas and around the edges, just to give it a bit more dimension and depth. And then I'll also add touches to the resin pieces. As you'll see when I'm done, they're going to look absolutely gorgeous with the highlights. So my embellishments and canvas are almost ready, but I'm just adding a final touch with some Finnabare's unicorn paste, which will give everything a gorgeous sparkle and really catch the light. I'm mainly applying it to the top of the canvas, which I know will be seen, the mermaid's tail and the shells. I might add it onto a few more other pieces. But yeah, this is really gorgeous. If you haven't tried any of these sparkly, I know everyone doesn't like glitter, but they really do add a really lush effect and catch the light. So I definitely recommend that product if you are anything like me and you do like a bit of sparkle. And my embellishments are completely ready once I've finished applying that. So it's now time to adhere them to my canvas. For the chipboard pieces, I'm going back to the tacky glue just because it's easier to get into those thin areas rather than using heavy body gel. But once you've seen that I'll apply all of the chipboard pieces, I then will use the heavy body gel for applying the bigger pieces. Just because in the long run it will be a lot stronger to hold down the shells and the frame. You'll also see that I use little pieces of chipboard that I've just cut out, and they were just the frames that the chipboard pieces come on. So yeah, I'll just cut those out and layer them up just so I can add dimension and raise my pieces so that everything's not flat onto the canvas. It hopefully will make more sense when you see me doing it. But yeah, this point now is just adhering everything on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you stick around until the end so you can see what it looks like once I finish. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to play you out with some music while I complete this project. And yeah, I will see you next time. Just once again to say thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And feel free again to leave me a comment down below and I will get back to you. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Take care. Bye bye.